trying to get my entire message out? Like, what is it that I'm trying to do? What is it that I'm trying to achieve with filming myself all the time like this? Well, okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I've never lost a water challenge to this date. And if you're not familiar with what a water challenge is, it is what I was taught by my favorite crew from Red Phone Booth. So I can try not to destroy everything while moving shit. And it's simply where you just chug water at the end of your shift. You know, instead of beer. It's a wild thing to conceptualize the service industry not coping through just dumb amounts of alcohol. But it's possible. It is so possible. And that's what I've been addicted to doing or attempting to do for the last 7 years. It has been to go ahead and try to find ways into the hearts and minds of the hospitality industry in Miami, because I don't think that this city does things with intention to not deliver the most exceptional hospitality. I just don't think anybody here has been necessarily taught how to do it. In Texas, it's just what we do to go ahead and greet somebody, smile, verbally acknowledge them. And that's just when you run into strangers. You open the door for people, you're considerate of what, like, crossing paths with random people, like, you're considerate. Anyways, there's a rule they teach servers out here and bartenders. It's the 5 foot, 10 foot rule, and it's when you're within 5 feet of somebody, you go ahead and verbally acknowledge them, but 10 feet, you're good to just visibly acknowledge them. But the fact that that has to be trained is mind-bending. But where it gets lost in Miami is that I think that too many people are taught SOP and not taught the philosophy behind the SOP. Because in a restaurant, in a bar, in any type of hospitality situation, the way that it can go is so dynamic and fluid that oftentimes SOP can be, I don't want to say changed, because I don't think that any of us get an opinion over the business, but I think that if the philosophy is understood, then certain steps can be taken ahead of time, or certain steps can be, not touched on as heavily because it would impact the overall guest experience. That's not what I got on this thing to talk about, though. I got on here to go ahead and say for the last 7 years I've been building what I would consider celebrities in the Miami hospitality industry. I've been working with authentic brands that have built their entire identity and reputation on quality. Years ago I saw a YouTube on service versus hospitality, and it was given by a woman named Anna Dolce. She may be still alive. She may still be alive. I'm not sure. I I was so excited and naive back in the day that I gave anybody with a little bit of success or achievement the credibility that they were somebody that I wanted to be like. And after years of just navigating the bullshit realm of people's words, I have learned that talk is cheap. And when somebody feels the need to go ahead and explain who they are or what they do in an effort to convince or, I don't know, just that kind of forcing of an outcome that I want, it never led to an outcome that I wanted. In fact, my inability to go ahead and just submit and let it go, let what happens happen, that caused so much strife in my own life. I used to take things very personally when somebody would give me constructive criticism instead of understanding that maybe where they're coming from is a place of ownership of the business that they're in charge of, you know. Managers, good managers don't personally attack their employees. In fact, the best managers look at employee failure as personal failure on their part because they didn't equip their staff with the tools to succeed. There are bosses like that, and it's never the ones that want to be the bosses. It's just like, I guess, the president or whatever it is. The best leaders do it from the back, and they do it quietly. They don't demean you in front of other staff members, but they praise you in public. They shout your praises. You'll know that what I'm doing is succeeding and gaining traction. You'll know that the vision that I have is starting to get credence and credibility when you see restaurants and venues and bars all around the world truly highlighting the people that work for them. Because right now, the hospitality industry is saturated with amazing content, but content that doesn't do anything for anyone. There's no value in showing pictures of girls for ladies' night types of posts if that's all you're going to show. Cool. Random chicks. There's no point in using flyers as like the effort that you're putting into marketing. That's silly. What matters is put pride into your team. Truly invest in their efforts. Invest in the time that you spend teaching them the philosophy behind what it is that they're a part of. Because if you treat it as a transactional type of employment status with them, they're also going to do that. And nobody in an ownership or management position can really get upset because the person's just doing what they're being allowed to do. I have a very simple philosophy now in my life. I've been doing serving and bartending and such for 21 years, going on 21 years. And the absolute world of opportunity that is at our fingertips, at least in Miami for what I'm speaking about. If you have a vision or a dream or a hustle or grind that's bigger than yourself, and you're always working on it, it's gonna come out in the conversations that you have with your guests. And that's nearly how I've gotten almost every opportunity that I've ever been presented. And I'm aware of that because I'm very present and I try to do my best. I do my best to just appreciate the now and understand that nothing lasts forever. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. And if you're saying this, then you're here for a reason. You might not know what it is, but you're also also never going to know what it is if you just keep sitting around and don't get yourself out of the comfort zone. And getting yourself out of your comfort zone doesn't mean doing risky things. But in order to get to that point, you have to understand what your comfort zone is, why your comfort zone is what it is, and challenge the identity that you put within it. Most servers and bartenders have no idea how valuable their skill sets are. So, instead of just complaining about that, I went ahead and learned how to use a camera, learned how to do content, learned how to do all these things in social media with the intention that I will build the the standards of leadership, the standards of effort by simply capturing real moments of real people making real impact. To me, it doesn't seem like a crazy idea. Like, everybody else is doing the tits and ass stuff. Everybody else is doing the sexy girls and the cheap marketing because it's lazy. It's what everybody else is doing. I don't even like being called a photographer or videographer because I don't believe that that's what my identity lies. Or that's not what my identity is. My identity is in the impact that I'm able to have in every connection that I am given in my day, whether it be a guest at the restaurant, whether it be a stranger I'm walking by in the street, whether it be an attendant at a convenience store, whether it be my fucking family or my bosses, whether anybody. We're never shown that we are able to do the things that we want to do. We're never taught that we have all of the power already within us. We're never shown that we're enough because that doesn't make capitalistic businesses money. I hate to go that route, but the fact is, businesses target fear. A lot of religions target fear, and they use that fear that people have to manipulate them. In America, we're taught that college is important from grade school, and if you get bad marks and things, that's going to affect your future in college. And that is a very, very brilliant way that they have gotten over on us in this country to make us believe that we need college and that we need the certifications that they have out there. And in reality, that's not necessarily the case. Sure, it is for doctors and lawyers and those kinds of things, but you don't need a degree to make a difference. Arguably the most impactful disruptors of our entire lifetime don't have degrees. I have an interesting type of, my creative process is very hard to explain, and the only times that I've ever heard it enunciated so well it's been by Rick Rubin and Benny, fuck, I can't remember his last name. I know he's dating Selena Gomez and is a major songwriter. But the way those two see life is the way that I feel that I see life. I don't see myself as somebody that has competition in this world because what I'm doing is not the same as what anybody else is doing. So I don't, how can they be my competition if they don't even understand what I'm doing? And then let's go so far as to say that somebody does understand what I'm doing. Fuck yeah, because my entire vision is just to leave a better, like, an iota of a better vibe on this earth than when I was here, because what I was taught growing up is that you leave somewhere that you enjoy nicer than when you found it. I carry plastic bags in my backpack so that when I find places that I go and smoke on my walks home, I'm able to go ahead and clean up the area around me if it needs it. Like, why the fuck not? Is that something that I tell people all the time that I do? No. Is it necessary? No. Little things that we each do every day without any expectation of gratitude, appreciation, or recognition. If selflessness, yeah, changes things in the best way possible. The hospitality industry in the 20 years I've been in it has started to shift. The generation, the generation behind me isn't consuming substances or alcohol like my generation or those before did. They're not chasing necessarily all of their stress away with alcohol or drugs. They're facing it. They're concerned about their health, both mental and physical and spiritual. Who out there is putting out content for the service industry to let them know that there are better ways that they can handle things? Who out there is really putting in the work to make sure that the service industry is is done in the best way possible? I have a simple philosophy: where there's smoke, there's fire. Meaning, the clients and stuff let me smoke. Excuse me, I say that when they let me smoke. When I smoke, I make fire content. Also, when there's smoke, there's fire. That means that usually, if you see a sign of something, that's probable cause to assume that something else is going on.